Hey, I'm on a screenwriter's screenwriter journey roll when it comes to VO, anyways, because this is the third or fourth one I've recorded because they're all pretty short and because I'm way behind and because I'm trying to catch up. Day 207, screenwriter's journey. Um, it seems to me I started yesterday on page 92 and I've regressed here. Um, Okay, so I'm starting to rewrite this scene where Jake and Lexi have got this little play that they're going to put on. And I've gone through a few iterations of this already. And I think when you do that early on in your writing, you immediately are saying, is this scene really going to work? Um, there's no obviously clear cut answer to that always, and maybe sometimes scenes will and sometimes they won't. But basically, and this is a poor way to do it. I'll be the first or second to admit it. I had the idea of what I want the scene to accomplish, but I haven't really written it out. And maybe if I did that, and I mean, I hate to say this because it, it makes it could make one sound like a rank amateur, but there's the school of thought and the practice of really writing out each scene and even writing the beats in a scene and saying what do we need to accomplish, what does each player need to each character need to accomplish. And you've got the glad, mad, sad, angry. I think those are the four emotions. And then not having a even keeled scene in terms of drama, having it rise and fall. And then, of course, you've got the stakes rising, ticking clock, good news, bad news, that sort of thing. And so in this version, Lexi is saying all this stuff that Jake supposedly doesn't want her to say. And I'm trying to remember the point of why I want this scene. I think it's because Lexi thinks, and Jake probably thinks too, that if Rachel believes they're like, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever, that she'll have more leverage over Jake. But if Jake is being a real jerk and everything, maybe they meaning primarily Rachel, will just leave him behind and not hurt him. The problem is here that way too much dialogue, and I keep saying that, and yet I keep writing. But I promise I'm trying to whip myself into shape. Probably not on February 25th, which is when I wrote this, but somewhere between there and the present, which is the middle of May, which again, I think of all the voiceover I need to do, and I don't need to do it. I mean, the primary reason I'm doing it right now is because, well, let me just tell you, I have finished another draft, and this is really the first time I've gotten to fade out, I think, since like last October or whenever, September, October, before I sent it to that guy, and it kind of blew up in my face. And I think this is the first time I've gotten to fade out, not to give anything away, but it does tell you that that's a lot of more days of writing that I've done. And have they been productive? You could argue that, as I often do, any day of writing is productive because the alternative is not to do anything. Having said that, today is Monday. It took a minute to think. I think it was just yesterday that I wrote fade out on it. So now I need to give myself at least 2 or 3 days before I go back and start reading it, because I know there's going to be things that I don't like. I hope there's nothing cringeworthy sort of like this, although this is less cringeworthy than the version where he was like practically going to rape her or something, which I just can't even believe I even wrote that down. But having said that, this is still a lot of talking. And I've got to figure out, how to get this across with a lot less talking. And that's true, I think, of a lot of scenes and probably a lot of people's scripts. Because when you think about it, a movie has a beginning, a middle, and an end. In a sense, so does a scene. But, you can't have beginning, middle, and end as in someone enters a room, they talk, and then someone leaves the room. That's not so hot. Speaking of not so hot, I don't know, fill in the blank. That was day 207, I believe. And now the day is over. Bye-bye.